Welcome back. You're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. The Answer, filling in for the big man, Mr. Craig Sewing, who is out and about today. Joined as always by Mr. Jason Hall, Team Home Loans, East Village Chargers. Love it. We've got Mr. Joel Yinger, Executive Assistant over at Whissel Realty.
Yo.
And Mr. Bryan Koci,
Guy coming up here.
Media Manager at Whissel
Media
Realty.
Manager.
That is me in the house.
Bryan, what does a media manager do?
I handle the media. It's so Paul likes that. So any photos, videos, green screens, that sort of stuff. If we're producing images or visuals, I'm pretty much behind it all.
Okay, I love it. And if you want to check out any of the video stuff that Bryan puts out for the Whissel Realty team, just go on YouTube, type in Whissel Realty. There's hundreds of videos on there. You can get an idea of some of the different things that Bryan's doing for the team. And Bryan, before the break, we were talking about uncovering the knife.
Yes.
The mysterious knife in the OJ trial. But what I want to do is...
I have not found any knives, uncovered in any of our houses, so we're good.
I've found some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, with all the REO stuff back.
Oh, man. I found, weapons of all kinds of fun stuff.
Luckily, Joel has to go in before me on those kind of things if that happens.
I saw the best one you got him was that little cat poster.
Oh, man. The cat poster, the Playtime cat poster.
Yeah, it was hanging in my office. No longer
Things
is.
people leave behind.
They left that just for you.
I'm sure.
That was important. So what I want to talk about, Bryan, is uncovering value in somebody's home and some of the things, from the media perspective that somebody can do when it comes time to sell their home. What are some things they can do to help somebody like you as a media manager out to really showcase their home in the best light possible?
I mean, you said it right there. It's all about showcasing your home in the best light possible. So it's my job to kind of find the angles, find the lighting, that sort of thing. But there are things that really help out kind of telling that story of the home. So first, obviously, is decluttering. It's very difficult to show off how big a room is when 75% of it's filled with boxes or cat posters or anything like that. So decluttering, depersonalizing really helps. Also, these are really basic things, but cleaning, right? So making sure it's not, especially dark wood floors. If they're super dusty, they'll show up super dusty. But even going further into it, windows. So cleaning the insides and the outsides of the windows, that can be a pain, especially on 2-story units. So having someone come out and professionally clean it the day before is huge. And even things like maybe taking out screens, making sure Kyle loves light bulbs, so making sure all the light bulbs are in and working. But not only that, having, and this is going to get kind of technical, but stick with me here for a second, having the right color temperature within the light bulbs. So if you go to Home Depot, you'll see, I don't know, a wall full of light bulbs, right?
Be rather intimidating.
Yes, and they're all going to say, they're going to give you color temperature in kelvins, and that's confusing. But you'll see that they say cool daylight, warm, and they have all sorts of different things. And if you really look at them, it's kind of hard to see with your eyes, but when in pictures, it's really obvious if you have a tungsten, a old school yellow light bulb next to like a fluorescent, you'll see it's yellow and green, and you'll see that same thing. So if you see all your light bulbs and you put in a daylight one and you have all warm light, it's going to show up as blue, and that doesn't look good.
So you want consistency.
And as long as they're all the same, I can tweak it in Photoshop and stuff like that to make it the right color. We like a little bit of warmth, but if it gets too yellow, then your awesome white countertops and your white cabinets, they all look yellow and muddy and bleh. So really kind of staging the home correctly. And with inside the home also comes outside the home. So again, one of Kyle's pet peeves, and I've had to Photoshop a few out myself, trash cans. So putting the trash cans in the garage, down the street, basically out of the way. And sometimes people think it's out of the way if it's on the side yard, right? But with some of the things we do, I like to do multiple angles to show kind of the different sides, so you can see where the neighbors are, or how far away they are, stuff like that, or kind of avoid them. But also things like aerials. So we use our drone, which the Phantom 4 came out, so I'll be kind of hitting with Kyle about getting a new Phantom.
Or do you want the updated one?
No, I'm good. I don't need it. But so when we do aerials, we'll be able to see all the junk you have on the side yard. So getting either that thrown away into your trash can the week before so it's not full of stuff, or getting a dumpster out, stuff like that, just really cleaning up, decluttering, and even things like simple landscaping. I'm not saying you have to go all turf or drought-tolerant plants, but if you have 4-foot weeds in the backyard, I can't Photoshop that out. It's just hire someone to come out 2 days before, pull all that stuff. It's going to look a lot better in pictures. It's going to show a lot better. And even though we know the weeds are going to grow back, it's going to just give it that better feel that someone's not going to have to come in and do work on immediately. Does that make sense?
Yep.
I love it. So, Brian, back to the light bulb conversation.
Light bulbs.
Passion. Very passionate about
Yes,
this.
I love my light bulbs.
Love light bulbs. So, one of the big tips, too, is when you're putting your house on the market, not only do you want the color to match, but you want the wattage to match.
Correct.
And typically you want to max out whatever the wattage is on your light fixtures. 99% of light fixtures out there will allow up to a 100-watt light bulb in them. If it will allow a 100-watt light bulb, you better believe we want a 100-watt light bulb in there. The more light that comes out of a bulb, the bigger the room is going to look.
Yep.
So always want to max out the wattage. So there's typically 3 lights, Brian. There's daylight, which tends to give off more of a bluish hue.
Yep.
There's a soft white, which tends to give more of a yellowish hue off. And then there's a bright white, which is kind of in the middle of the two. What is your preferred color?
See, it's
yellow,
funny.
the blue, or in the middle?
So I like the middle. It's funny because we asked this question before, and there's even more because there's more and more yellow and there's more blue, but definitely the more of the middle to give just a little bit of that warmth. If you show off too much of that blue, it's going to look hospital-y. Yes. So
hospital-y.
if you're setting in a hospital, you'll get what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I got to lash out when I get attacked.
I think people understand. People understand.
But and if
I
you
get
go,
attacked all the time. I don't
know.
lash out anymore.
I know. I have to.
You learn.
But if you go the too yellow, it just looks gross. It muddies everything up and it dulls everything. Kind of that middle gives you that nice little bit of warmth, but still gives you those kind of sharp edges that you want, especially if you have light countertops and flooring, stuff like that. Just giving that little bit of yellow is great.
All right, so if you're putting light bulbs in, 100-watt, bright white, that's what you want to aim for. That is going to give you the best photography possible.
And there's a lot of stuff that I can do with photography. You know, I bring my lights so I can light certain areas so that way we can make sure we can see out the windows, which is why it's important to have clean windows, not to have the screens. But not only will it photograph better, it'll show so much better. So, I mean, there's houses that I photographed and people are like, wow, that's nice and bright. But as you go in, it's during certain times of the day, it can really kind of feel dark. So having that bright will really help give that whole inviting feel.
I love it. And again, that's one of the tips. You know, if you're looking to put your home on the market, there's so many things that we can do for you at Whissel Realty to help you get top dollar. I mean, these are such subtle little things that you're talking about, Brian, that most people would never even fathom.
And they're easy.
Super easy.
But they make a huge difference. I mean, if you can get an extra 0.5% on your home for spending $150 on light bulbs and spending, I don't know numbers, but what, $200 to have someone pull weeds, or have a neighbor kid do it for $10 an hour and have them spend the Saturday, like, that's going to get you an extra 0.5% or multiple offers, which is going to push you up. It's a no-brainer. I mean, some people are so worried about pennies they lose the dollars.
I love it. Again, you're listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170. If you ever want to connect with us, learn more about some of these things you can do to sell your home for top dollar, give us a call, shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. Jason, you had a question.
Yeah, so I mean, that's why you want to hire a true professional real estate team versus the average agent. I know you guys, it's simple, it's basic, but doing this 20-plus years, I know 90+% of the agents don't even think about that. Mm-hmm. They shoot with their iPhones, and they just get out there and get it on.
At least shoot with an Android, right?
Right. They don't even think about what can I do to improve my client's home and give it the most exposure and people want to come see it. What can I do? And that's things you guys do. You think outside the box. You do basic stuff, but it's smart stuff. You think about it. You just don't assume, the right buyer's going to give me top dollar. Right? You guys look at every angle to really help your seller get the top dollar so that they can move on wherever they're going to be and know they got the best. And that's huge what you guys do. So I just wanted to mention that.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's huge. It's amazing how, we can take some of these homes before they hit the market. Like a lot of realtors, they'll go out, they'll meet with a seller. So says, I want to put the home on the market. You're hired. And half the time, the realtor will literally just walk outside with their iPhone and start shooting some pictures.
Yep.
There's no thought, there's no preparation or anything involved. Another big difference, with us is that we have an interior designer on staff. So before we ever even think about putting a home on the market, we really want to make sure that everything is dialed in. All the little things that Bryan talked about with lighting, clean windows, removing screens, clean floors, clean everything, right? That makes a huge difference. But the other part is, we come into a lot of these homes, and when you live in a home, it's a little different than when you're selling a home.
It's quite different.
Yeah, it's just a tad bit different. If you've ever been to a model home, it looks completely different than the house that you actually live in because you live in it. Understandable. Yep. But when it comes time to sell, you want that home to show like a model home. So we have our interior designer who will come out there, and a part of hiring our team is we cover the cost to have her come out there, and she will do a complete walkthrough on the home and give you a punch list of all the little things that you can do to get your home in model home condition. So it can be the things like the lighting and the cleaning, but it can also be, adding little pops of color here, toning down color there, setting the table so that actually people can envision themselves and their family sitting at that table having a dinner together. It can be having a new bedspread on the bed where people, see that bedroom and that bathroom and it just looks like a spa to them, and they can envision coming home after a long day of work and just, kicking their shoes off and laying in that bed and relaxing, or hopping in a nice bubble bath with some candles lit. So there's a story that needs to be told when marketing a home. And that's where, setting the stage for that can really come into play. And that's what makes the difference in why our team is selling homes for 2.5% above what the average realtor is selling them for. And with the average price in San Diego being over $500,000, you're talking about $10,000 to $15,000 extra dollars that we're getting for our sellers. And it's because of the little things like this. It really makes a huge difference. So if you want to connect with our team, learn more about the little things that you can do to really maximize the value of your home, give us a call, shoot us a text, 619-663-SELL, 619-663-7355. We're going to head to a break. When we get back, Jason, want to talk about the latest in the mortgage market. You are listening to Whissel Wednesdays here on AM 1170, The Answer.
Saying, I don't know, is no longer acceptable. This is AM 1170, The Answer.
What if you could safely grow your retirement account with a reasonable rate of return with no risk of principal? Hi, this is Dave Harris with Wealth Preservation, specializing in retirement income and insurance planning. There's nothing I enjoy more than helping San Diegans protect and grow their retirement savings. For over 4 decades, we have helped families achieve financial success. If you need help with your retirement planning, please visit me online